Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So then was pronounced to all the devotees. Welcoming you all to today's Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So today we have His Grace Premavasya Prabhu, who has kindly agreed to give his association to us. So Prabhu, taking this opportunity to thank you and also welcome you to this forum. So Hare Krishna Prabhu, over to you. Kindly request you to go ahead and then share the nectar with all of us.
Thank you, Babuji. Hare Krishna. Let me share my screen. Start.
Prabhu, you said you want me to share the screen? Acha, you are
No,
sharing. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Can you see the screen now?
Yes, Prabhu, we are able to see.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Nudiraye Nashtraprayesu Avadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिया वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा। So welcome you all on this class on Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm very fortunate that Prabhuji gave me this seva. So today in this class we are going to discuss on Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 5, Chapter 5, text number 15. This is the conversation with Rishabdev, and Rishabdev is instructing, and he says in this verse, Putram chasesyam sanipo gururva manloka kamo mad anugraharte ittam vimanyur anusisyad tatjnana najo sate karmasu karma vimodhan kam yojayan manujartham labhetat nipatyan dishtam higarte. So, translation prepared by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, in this verse, Putran means the sons, Cha and Sisyans mean disciple. Putranscha Sisyanscha means Putra and Sisya, sons and disciples, cha, and Nripaha means king, and then he says Guru and the spiritual master. So Lord recently addressing all these three people, sons, disciples, and king, and the Guru, spiritual master, va mat loka kamaha, desiring to go to my abode. Mad anugraha artha, thinking that to achieve mercy is the aim of life. Ittam, in this manner, Vimanyu, free from anger, Anushisyata, should instruct, Atat Jnana, bereft of spiritual knowledge, Na, not, Yojayet, should engage, Karmasu, in fruitive activities, Kama Vimudhan, simply engage in pious or impious activities. Come, what? Yojayan, engaging. Manuja, a man. Artham, bereft. Labheta, can achieve. Nipatayan, causing to fall. Nashta Drisam, one who is already bereft of his transcendental sight. He indeed, Garte, in the whole. Nipatayan, Nashta Drisam hi Garte. He says, Putramsa, Sisyamsa, Nripo Gururva, Mat Loka Kama, Mat Anugrarte, Ittam Vimanyu Anusisyat Atat Jnana, Na Yojete Karmasu Karma Vimudhan, Kim Yojayan Manuja Artham Labheta, Nipatayan, Nashtadisam Higarte. So, Prabhupada, in his translation, write like this. So, this verse is talks about the qualification of a preacher, how the preacher should behave, and then it talks about expectation of Lord from a preacher. So, what is Lord expecting from a preacher? How he should behave, and what to preach. There is also the topic of this verse, how to preach. So, this is a very important topic that Lord has covered in this verse, and then why to preach. So, purpose, what, how, why, whom, and what is the qualification, who should preach, and what is Lord's expectation. All these points is covered in this verse. So let us read the translation. So this translation I have broken down into parts so that we can understand the translation much better. So Lord says, if one is serious about going back home, back to Godhead, so there is a condition, or so he want to say that those who are interested in going back to go home, he must consider the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the summum bonum and chief aim of life. So this is the requirement. If one wants to go back home, back to Godhead, he must consider the mercy of the Supreme Lord as the chief aim of his life. So only thing that he wants to achieve in this human life is the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. If he's a father instructing his sons, so the first line states that this is a general, this should be the general chief aim of life. Now he's talking about the one who is preaching. So therefore, Lord says that one who is in the role of a leader, a father, a teacher, or a king, or anyone. So this verse is for them. So it is expected that the father, son, and the king, their aim in the life should be to achieve mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. This should be the aim of a father. This should be the aim of a teacher, a leader, or any person who is holding in the responsible position. It is expected that they should be grown up. They should be grown up and they should have the aim. And now, when they're instructing, then how they should instruct. So if the father is instructing his sons, a spiritual master is instructing his disciple, or a king is instructing his citizen. So what they should consider, they must instruct them as I have advised. So till text number 14, Lord Rishabdev has advised has given a lot of advice what should be instructed and how should be instructed. So he says that he must instruct them as I have advised and without being angry. So this is the most important part of it. And I will tell you later why Lord is saying that without being angry. So one should not get angry while preaching to anyone. He should continue giving instruction. One should keep giving instructions, even if a disciple, son, or citizen is sometimes unable to follow his order. They are not able to follow his order. He must keep instructing, keep imparting instructions, use intelligence, and instruct what to instruct, whatever Lord Rishabh has told, and without being angry. And then he said, ignorant people who engage in pious and impious activities should be engaged in devotional service by all means. Ena kena prakarena manah Krishna nivesayet. So, just like Srila Prabhupada has devised many means through which different types of people they can be engaged in the devotional services. So, Lord expects the Father, the spiritual master, and the King to engage people in various ways because they engage in pious activity, should be engaged in devotional service by all means, and they should always avoid fruitive activities. And then, if one puts into the bondage of karmic activities, the disciple, son, or citizen who is bereft of transcendental vision, how will one profit? So, Lord is very compassionate, and He is very worried about the entire conditioned souls. He says that if one puts into the bondage of karmic activities, his disciple, I mean his disciples, sons or citizen, if they are engaged in this karmic activities and they are bereft of transcendental visions, and the father, citizen, king, they are they are not instructing them, the teachers, they are not instructing them. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord says that I instructed Sun God in the beginning. And in this way, this parampara was coming down from me to Sun God and then to other rishis, and the Guru parampara started. So therefore, Lord wants that this should be preached. He said that if it is like leading a blind man to a dark well and causing him to fall. So a person who is blind and walking on the road and he does not see that there is a dark well in front of him, and other person who can see that he is going to well, and then he asks him not to go there, but the blind man does not listen to him. Then he says that, okay, you don't listen to me, go to well now. And then he causes him to fall to well. And then Lord will held responsible the spiritual master, the father, the teacher, if they are the citizen, they fall into the well. So this is what Lord wants from us. So here there are few things that we can get about the nature of Lord. Okay, the first nature is that what he's saying, that without being angry. So it's like initially when my kids they are going to school, I sent to school, and then the school called everyone, all the parents. So there was parent teacher meeting, and they said they were sitting together, and the parents were worried. What they said to teachers, sir, please don't be angry on my child. My child is very naughty. My child doesn't listen to me at home. He may not listen to you as well, and he does something sometimes wrong. He may not study. But the parents were requesting the teachers, please don't be angry. Please don't be angry. So this is what you can relate the same nature. Lord is saying that he's so compassionate, he's so worried about the progress of all the jivas. And now those jivas, he has sent them in the care of a father, a mother, a spiritual master, a king. And he doesn't want the father, mother, spiritual master that were instructing them because they are in their care. We every jivas, they belong to Lord Krishna, but now they are in their care. So Lord has given them in their care, And therefore, just like a compassionate father, compassionate mother, when they send their children to school and they're worried that the teacher should not beat them, the teacher should not scold them, the teacher should not be angry on them, they're very worried. So Lord is also very worried that I have given them the care of this spiritual master, or the father, or the mother, or parents, or the king. They should not get angry. They should not scold him unnecessarily. And then if they don't listen, then what they should do? They should keep instructing. This is the Lord wants from us. Keep instructing. So here, spiritual master, the king or the father, they should use their intelligence. And how to use the intelligence? The Lord gives the indication. He said, should be engaged in devotional service by all means. So Lord is giving freedom to the father, spiritual master, and the teachers, that they should devise different kind of services, different ways to engage the people in the service. Just like Prabhupada said that those who do not want to come to temple, they have lots of money, they can give in charity. So by their money, they are helping they are doing the devotion services. Those who can do a small services, Prabhupada engaged in small services. Some of they engaged in the editing. Some of them went to preaching, any kind of services, any type of services, if they engage. So once Srila Prabhupada was instructing in the New York, and there was a madman. He came inside and said, I want to give the tissue paper. So he gave and said, I will give tissue paper. And everyone was laughing. And then Prabhupada said, no, he has a service attitude. So he came to serve the Lord, and he wanted to give the tissue paper. So this is what. So Lord says that the preacher should devise different means. So here is the open end situation Lord is providing us. That said, we should devise different means to engage all the people, all the citizen in the service of the Lord by different ways, just like Rath Yatra. So in the Rath Yatra, many people they get engaged. So very large activities there, and that there are different kind of temple services are there. So depending on the people inclination, their likings, and their qualifications, their desires, we should engage them as a preacher, as a temple president, or a father, or spiritual master. The disciples, all in the service of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they should always keep instructing them to avoid fruity activities. We'll discuss in some time why people get engaged in fruity activities. So this is I would say that this is the blueprint for the preacher, how preachers should behave, what should be preached, and how they should do it. So this is the instruction for all the Bhakti Vriksha leaders and all the preachers in our movement. So why people get engaged in pious and impious activities? Okay, so let us discuss. So here I have taken the words in the Hindi only because I do not know how to translate them in English. So I will use the exact word in Hindi, and then I will explain that in English. So kama. So first word, they start with the kama. What is the kama defined as? So if the feeling that there is happiness in this world, if we have this feeling, or if you feel that this world is good, or we can make this world as good. So sometimes we see the slogan, let's make this world a better place to live. So this is what, so different ways people get attached to this world. So this is called Mahat Buddhi. Mahat Buddhi means the intelligence by which one thinks that this world is good, this place is good, there is something good in this world, everything is bad, but something is good, something like this. They feel something is good, so this is called kama. And from there, what happens that it develops kamana. So kamana means then we want to have the things which we lack. So this world is good, and there are few things that I don't possess is, so I like it. So this is called kamana. So all it starts from the fact that they start feeling this world is good. And the devotee, one who is very advanced in devotional life, what he start feeling, this world is not a good place to live, because I cannot serve Krishna properly. I don't see Krishna here. So they don't see anything good in this world. But other people, they see something good in this world. And if there is nothing, if something is not good, they feel that they can make this world a good place to live. And from there it starts kamana. So you want to have something, because just thinking that this world is good, you cannot become happy. You should have those things what you think is good. If you think that a good home is good, then you will feel that nice home should be mine. I should stay in that home. If a car is good, if you feel the car is good, then you feel that this car should be with me because I like it. So this is called kamana. And then there is vasana. Vasana means subtle desire within the mind and intelligence. So sometimes it happens that something is good and I want to have it, but I don't have the capacity. I don't have the money that required to buy. I do not have this resources to get those things. So those kind of desires that remain subtle in our mind and the intelligence, and that's called vasana. And then spriha. Spriya means the moment uh, it you think you start feeling that this is very essential for my life. I need it, but I do not have it. And then you start that now I really need these items, but unfortunately I do not have it. But you start thinking. So vasana is coming into life now. So it becomes spriha, and then asakti. So I need it, I like it, I love it. And then it becomes asa. Asa means when the probability of getting the desired object is high. So you wanted to get a good house, and but your salary was low or your income was very low, but now your income is high. Now you can get the home. Now it becomes asa. You start thinking that now the probability is very high. I can get the thing. I can get this car, something like this. So it is called asa. The probability becomes high, and then once your desire is fulfilled, then it becomes lobha or trishna. So once you get it, you want to have it more. So you want more and more. This is called lobha. So you can see that everything starts with the feeling that this world is good place to live. So nice environment. You can see the beautiful oceans are there. You can go to Goa. You can go to Himalayas. You see beautiful mountains covered with snow, and so nice place to live. People are enjoying there. Missouri, they go to Jammu and Kashmir, they go to Switzerland. So nice place, right? And you see the videos, you see the photographs. People are enjoying. They are throwing ice ball on each other, and they are celebrating birthday. They are celebrating marriage parties. They are celebrating their success. So nice place in this world. So big cars are there, and now everything is getting developed now. So very big multi-story buildings are there, bungalows are there, nice cars are coming up. And this world is so good that we had diseases, but now the medical science has improved, and the disease is also going away. Cancer is also treatable, and in some time the science will progress, and then there will no disease. People will not die. They will not become old. So nice place to live here. So something like so. If you think like this, so this is called kama, and that is the starting place. That is the place from where our engagement to pious and impious activity starts. So if the kamna, vasana, spriha, and all these things are very high, then some people they try to get those by pious activities, and some who think that it's not possible to get a pious activities, my desire is very high, they try to do it by impious activities. Just like for example, if you want to go to a place, you want to go to a marriage party, and then suddenly your train or the flight is cancelled, but there is some backdoor entry, somebody asks you some extra money, and then and some different means, and you can get your seat reserved in a train or flight or bus. Then you are ready to pay the money, you are ready to do these empires activities. Anyhow you want to achieve what you want. So all starts with kama, kamana, vasana, spriha, asakti, asa, lobh, trishna. So these are the way that we get entrapped in this entire cycle. So what we should do, we should understand that there's nothing good in this world. But if I say that there's nothing good in this world, then people would say that why internet is very good, the Zoom is very good, we can sit in AC room and preach. This is so nice. because if there's no AC, how you can preach? If there's no Zoom, how you can preach? So Zoom is good. So somebody will say that we should try to engage everything in the service of Lord. So suddenly this is a kind of subtle kind of enjoyment. So somebody would pray, oh Lord, give me so much that neither I stay hungry nor the guest who comes to my home they stay hungry. So in this way he's ensuring, he's making it sure that he is not hungry. At least guest may come 1 day or 2 day, but 365 days he will not be hungry. But he's not saying that I'm asking it for myself. He said that I just want that the guests should not be hungry. I should receive them very well, give them a nice place to live, and therefore I want. I have only 2 BHK house, 1 BHK house, and if the guest comes, it's very difficult. So, oh Lord, please give me a 4 BHK bungalow or a multi-story building to stay, so that guests can come and stay with us. And then when I go to temple, I see many people, they can't go to temple because they don't have the facility. Oh Lord, please give me a big car so that I have 4-seater. Now I should have an 8-seater car or a caravan, very big car, so that when I go to temple, I can take other people also with me. So something is good in this life, something good in the, but by doing this, we don't realize when we get attached to this world, when we get attached to this material world. So they don't realize this, and slowly we get trapped. So this is the way the Maya, the illusory potency of Lord, traps us in this world, and we get engaged in pious and impious activities. It is very, it is the work of a very advanced devotees who can who can take this Maya and engage in devotional service. Just like an electrician knows how to handle the electric wire in which 4,000 volts of current is passing by. But if we just see them and we try to imitate them and try to use them, sometimes we may get trapped. So until unless we are very expert, we know how much volt, how much ampere, how to engage, how to use this. So we should do how much is instructed. How much is instructed. So Lord Rishabdev has instructed in the previous verses how much money we should have and how much we should earn. All this instruction Lord Rishabdev has done, and those has been covered in the previous classes. So the idea here is that once we start the feeling that this world is a good place to live, this Kali Yuga is very nice place because although this in Kali Yuga there are many inauspicious things, but one thing is good. The good thing is that Krishna Deva Krishnasya. So just by singing the glories, we can be purified. We can go back to Godhead. So that this Kali Yuga is good. So every time, oh Lord, give me birth in this Kali Yuga so that I don't have to perform very great austerities, and I may be engaged in all different kind of activities. But just by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I will get purified. So this is what the tendency comes. But anything, if a small tinge, even a small iota of or I mean, very small idea is there that this world is good. There's something good in this world. My wife is good. My husband is good. My children are good. My king is good. The atmosphere is good. The citizens are good. So what happens that you get attached into this process, and then if those things increases, then it becomes yachana. Yachana means the desire increases, then you start asking for it. We go to powerful persons in this world, or you go to demigods to ask those things because our desire is very high. So this is how we get engaged. And Lord Rishabdev is what he's instructing, that the father, the teachers, or the king, they should, what they should do, they should try to bring people out from this cycle, from kamana to yachana. So he wants them to bring them out of this cycle. And therefore, Lord Rishabdev is preaching, and therefore, Lord instructed this science of Bhagavad Gita to the kingly peoples, to Raj Rishis, to teachers, to the spiritual masters, so that they can instruct their subordinates, son, or the student, disciples, or the citizens. So there are two hooks in this world. Two hooks, they are called rag and dvesh. So I like something and I don't like something. So if I say that I like something, that will also acts as a hook and it will attach us. And if I say, okay, you say that this world is not good, so I don't like this world. If you say I don't like this world, I don't like this atmosphere, I don't like this, that is also a hook. So the challenge is that if you say this world is good, then also we are trapped. If I say this world is not good, then also we are trapped. So what should be our strategy? Our strategy should be that we don't say this world is good, we don't say this world is not good. We do not interact with this world. So it's like I'm staying at one place and something is coming. If in my life something good comes, something bad comes, I'm not disturbed. So therefore, in the entire Bhagavad Gita, an entire Vedic literature, you will see that the I mean Lord wants that people should be sama. Sama means they should not be disturbed. Sukha dukkha samay kritva, labha labho jaya jayo. In sukh, in dukh, in distress, in happiness, in the victory or in the defeat, he should be remain neutral. So this is the mental state that one has to develop slowly. He will develop it. So rag and dvesh, these are two types of hooks. If you say this world is good, then also you are trapped. If you say this world is bad, then also you're trapped. You say I like something, you are trapped. If you say that I don't like this world is so bad, this Kali is so bad, I cannot perform my different services. It is so challenging to chant every day. My mind is always disturbed. I don't like this world. I don't like my wife. I don't like my husband. I don't like my children. They're disturbing it. Or if you say that I like my husband, I like my children, I like my wife, I like because they are so I mean favorable for my different services. In both the cases, you get trapped. When you are not trapped, if you do not have this feeling, you are just attached only to devotion services and not to anything else, and you are not disturbed any processes. If the situation is good, then also you can chant. If situation is bad, then also you can chant. I mean, there is nothing can disturb you from your devotion services or from performing your daily spiritual activity. Nothing can disturb in this world. No situation can disturb. Neither your own mind can disturb, nor your intelligence can disturb, nor your own bodily condition can disturb, nor the external atmosphere can disturb, nor anyone else can disturb. Therefore, Lord says in Bhagavad Gita that a devotee, he will never be a cause of misery or distress to others, and others cannot become a cause of misery to devotees. So this is what, because they are sukha dukkha samekritva lava lava jaya jayo. So this same verse has been spoken in different format in all the entire Bhagavad Gita and entire Vedic literature. So this is the condition that we want to achieve. So let us discuss few more points on this topic. So there are religious principles and there is a Bhagavad Dharma, devotional services. In religious principle, what we have people, they want to follow principles because they want to get liberated. They want liberations. That is what they want. So for them, liberation is that if somehow all these pains, janam, mrityu, life, birth, old age, disease, this is gone, they think it is liberation. So if they can achieve in this body itself, for them it is liberation. So science is trying to make you liberate. Science is trying to say that people will not die in future. People will not become old in future. Something like this. So they will accept it. If within this body, my husband, my wife, my children, everything remains the same, and I'm liberated. I don't get old, I don't die. These are the states they want to achieve. And then mitigation of material miseries. And if they don't get liberated, then at least they can mitigate all the diseases and the old age problems. They can mitigate it. And for that purposes, they follow the religious principles. But there is one Bhagavata Dharma. Bhagavad Dharma. So Lord is saying, Lord Rishabdev says that the king, spiritual master, or the father, they should not instruct simply for the liberation. They should not instruct how to mitigate the miseries. They should not instruct them. What they should instruct? They should instruct about the Bhagavad Dharma. And what is Bhagavad Dharma? It is the revival of our relationship with the Supreme Lord. And they should ask them to perform austerity and penances should be accepted if it supports it. So any austerities, any penances, anything, any process, any donation, everything, you should do it only if supports. What it supports? It supports in the revival of our relationship with the Supreme Lord. So this is the Bhagavata Dharma that we want to achieve. And let's discuss something more. So Lord says that because of our accumulation of different life terms that we have been engaged in the sense gratification. So all those sanskaras are on their mind, and our intelligence are overpowered by that. And then he said, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Marjanam is cleaning process. So if you see that I have taken a lot of space between the verses because there's a lot of steps. Although this verses are written in a very compact size, and we think that one by one it is very easy to go, but actually it is very long distance. We need to travel long distance to go from one verse to another verse. Cheto Dharma Marjanam Bho Maha Dava Agni Nirvapanam, and there's a long gap. We need to travel long distance, and then we start feeling Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitarnam Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. We start feeling that this is the topmost knowledge. Yes, chanting is the topmost. Yes, there's nothing more than chanting. So once you start feeling this long gap between this, and then again, once you start feeling that yes, chanting is the most important thing, I must do it. Then there's a very long gap when you start feeling Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Punna Amrita Swadanam Sarvatma Sapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So there's a long gap between these verses. Cheto Dharma Marjanam, Bhava Maha Davaga Nirvapanam, and there's a long gap when you start feeling that this is the process. There is no substitute of chanting Lord's name. There's nothing. Even if you study the more than 4 lakhs verses of Vedic literature, if you memorize them, entire Vedic literature, entire Bhagavatam, entire Bhagavad Gita, you read all the acharyas, if you listen to all the spiritual masters or the saints who lived on this earth or who would come in future, if you listen to everyone, but then also it's very difficult to come to the conclusion that Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. This chanting is the essence. Chanting is the main thing, and I must depend just on chanting. Chanting the Lord is the main thing, and all the shastra, everything is just to convince us that chanting is the most important. Once a disciple of Sri Prabhupada asked him that why do you write so many books? He said, I just write so many books to convince you that chanting is the most important. And then once you start the chanting is the most important, then Anandamudi Vardhanam. So Cheto Dharma Marjanam. Marjanam is cleaning process. So if you clean something, the cleaning process takes time. It's not that today I start cleaning my hand, it becomes clean immediately. It takes time. So Marjan, the process takes time. But there's another process which does not take time. Do you want to know? So Marjan in the process, cleaning process takes time. But there's another process which Lord has mentioned. It does not take time. It is instantaneous. Okay. So what is this process? This process called Ananya. Ananya Cheta. Ananya Cheta Satam Yo Mam Asmriti Nitya Saha Tasyam Sulava Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yoginaha. If our devotion become Ananya, then Lord becomes Sulabha. I mean, he's become very easy to achieve. And what happens when our devotion service become Ananya? What happens? There's another verse in Bhagavad Gita. Tesam eva anukam partham aham ajnanajam tamaha nasyami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. His Lord says that once the person become Ananya, I mean, there is unallowed devotion services, he minds get engaged in that level, then aham ajnana jam tamaha, then it's switch on the light. So if there's darkness and the light is switched on, immediately the entire room is filled with light. It doesn't take time. It's not like that I will switch on the light and then 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, then the light will cover. Light, speed light is it is said that Einstein said that it is the constant, the universal constant, and there's nothing faster than the light. Now think about Lord Krishna turning on his light, his spiritual light. This is the material light. So the material light has this faster speed. You switch on the light, it will and cover the entire world. But if the light is very far away, just like sunlight, sunlight is very far away. It takes some time to reach to the earth, and then we can see things as it is. Now think about the spiritual light, which Lord Krishna is going to turn on. And Lord Krishna is not situated very far away. He is situated within our heart. And our heart is filled with the ajnana. And Lord Krishna will switch on the light, and our heart will fill with all the jnanas. We say that Divya Jnana Hridaya Prakasito. Every day we say that, and that our spiritual master will enlighten us from the heart. Even Lord Brahma, Tene Ade Kavaya Hridaya. So Lord Krishna instructed Lord Brahma from the heart itself. But people in the beginning that they cannot come to this stage of Ananya Bhakti. And therefore, it is instructed that they should start chanting. Even if we have faith in the chanting, you do not have faith in chanting, you like chanting, you don't like chanting, by any means, you should start chanting. Therefore, what people would do, like they will rename everything in their house by the Lord's name. So they say salt as a Rama Rasa. So they will not say, please give me salt. They will say Rama Rasa. And then they say with a Krishna Rasa. Something like this. So they will name everything in their house by the name of Lord. So even if a guest comes, then also by joking or by doing anything, but anyway, if they start taking the name is so powerful. So you start Cheto Dharma Marjanam, and someday they'll come to Ananya Bhakti. So if we are just engaged in this chanting, then Cheto Dharma Marjanam, slow process, we take slowly. One must transition from this slow process to this process which is fast at lightning speed, and we must develop the Ananya Bhakti. So this is what Lord wants, that a teacher, a king, or a spiritual master should instruct to them. So all that is a duty of all the preacher, that the preacher should become Ananya devotee of Lord. They should try to achieve. Lord Chaitanya said that first you must deliver yourself and then deliver others. So what does this mean? That we must deliver ourselves, that we must achieve as a preacher, as a king, as a spiritual master, one must get to the state of Ananya Bhakti. Because at state of Ananya Bhakti, Lord will switch on the light from the heart, and all this everything will jnana deepena bhasvata, everything will disappear, and we are situated in perfect knowledge. Then we should start instructing people on the process of chanting the holy name. Doesn't matter how they chant, but should start. You should induce everyone to chant the name and use all the means so that they are engaged in divine services. And we should not ask them to follow the religious principle just for two purposes, either for liberation or for mitigation of material miseries. This is what Lord wants us. And then let me talk something a little bit about, to conclude, how to develop the desires, how to develop this Ananya Bhakti of going back to Godhead. So first stage is that we must know that there's nothing good in this world. Just like the illusory potency of Lord, sometimes it gives us good condition to live so that we forget. So when the condition is good, we forget the Lord. And when the condition is very bad, if I fail in life miserably, if I'm suffering from diseases, then also you forget the God. We are just engaged in the disease, and we are engaged in mitigating the disease. And if we have this samartha, if we have the capability, then we try all by means to mitigate the disease. And in that time also we forget the Lord. So by both the means, usually potency of Lord, she does not allow us to remember the Lord. It is only the merciful guidance of spiritual master that they come and instruct us that how to engage our mind and ourselves in the service of the Lord. So the first is that one who has no shelter other than the mercy of the Krishna. So must start realizing that I have no other shelter than the mercy of Lord Krishna. I am just dependent on mercy of Lord Krishna. Must. So there are other shelters also, which you must leave. What are other shelters? So this is the money. So if I think that Lord Krishna has sent his mercy in the form of money, if you start thinking, and now you get attached to money. Now I'm dependent on money to mitigate my problems. So money is called anya shelter, shelter other than the mercy of the Lord. Then our own strength. So therefore, Bhakti Vinod Thakur says in the song, "Nija bala chesta prati bharosa chhadiya." So I have stopped taking shelter of my own strength, Nija bala, and my own endeavors. So I'm not dependent on my own strength, and I'm not dependent on my own endeavors. Nija bala chesta prati bharosa chhadiya. I'm just dependent on the mercy of Lord Krishna. So this is the practice we should start practicing, that I am just dependent on mercy of Lord Krishna, on strength or dependency on other beings. Other beings, we should not depend on other beings for our livelihood, and then dependency on demigods. So there are different kinds of shelters other than the mercy of Lord Krishna. But a devotee who is interested in going back home, back to Godhead, he should not have shelter other than the mercy of Lord Krishna. So mentally, he just depends on the mercy of Lord Krishna. And he accepts everything as a mercy of Lord Krishna, but it's not dependent on them. So that is the state of mind what Lord Krishna or Lord Rishabdev is saying, that one should have that state of mind, and he should instruct his sons, his disciples, his citizens to achieve that state of mind, that they must learn to depend on the mercy of Lord Krishna. So thank you very much. So I thought this is enough for today's class. So we have some time. We can have some question answers. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Premavasya Prabhu. Thank you for very nice and nectarian class today. And I think we really like the way you connected how a parent requesting a teacher, like Krishna is requesting a guru, or the other personalities like and you also covered the vasanas, and main point I really like the two hooks. Whether it's like or dislike, both are hooks. And finally, you nicely covered Bhagavad Dharma and the holy name Ananya Bhakti. Is the ultimate. So very nicely concluded, Prabhu. Thank you very much for your time and for your nectarian class. Now I think devotees can unmute themselves and share their realization and ask questions. Can somebody try just to check whether it's able to?
Yes, Prabhu, we can unmute.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, sure.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Okay.
Prabhu, you said when you have a diseased state, then you think about the medicines and all that, you forget about the Lord. Usually when you are in distress, you think about the Lord, no, Prabhu?
Yes, Mother. So, I mean, if you are pious, you think about the Lord. Lord said, na, Chaturvidha bhajante mam, artha arthate jigyasu gyani cha bharta sabha. So, if you are pious, you think about the Lord. Otherwise, you don't think about the Lord. You just think about the medicines. So, if one thinks about the Lord, if he remembers Lord, and then it is the symptom that we must have performed some pious activities. Not that we become devotee if you have distress. It's not. So we are not dependent on the mercy of the Lord. We are dependent on the doctor. We are dependent on the medicines, not the mercy of the Lord. But we remember the Lord because of pious activities. We get this chance to remember the Lord, and that is the starting place. So if the disease or distress is there, one will start saying, "Oh Ram, oh Krishna." oh Krishna, so much pain. Uh, something like this. They start chanting, and we distress condition, and that is this is a place where it starts. But because they are not dependent on the Lord's name, because they are not dependent on Lord's mercy, the once the disease is over, then no Lord, no Ram, no Krishna, again busy in their same activity. So this is what happens.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Any questions or comments? Please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Premavasya Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam Prabhuji. Ankarshan Predas here, Prabhu. Thank you very much for very, very enlivening and interacting class, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, you mentioned that so we have to develop Ananya Bhakti that will actually help us to understand the reality, right, Prabhuji? So, and for developing Ananya Bhakti, you mentioned that we have to take the instructions of the spiritual master very seriously and follow the sadhana bhakti. So here my doubt is, Prabhuji, I think one of the important attribute of sadhana bhakti is being consistent with our sadhana practice, and how to develop that consistency, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Guruji. I think it's not, you don't have any doubts, but it's just asking for the benefit of anyone who is listening this talk on internet. So consistency comes when you have this what is a Mahat Buddhi, when the Mahat Buddhi and you are just dependent on that. So one who has no shelter other than the devotion services, he will be consistent. If I have other shelter, then I will not be consistent in my devotion services. So for example, if I think that chanting is good, but even if I today don't chant and I just read Bhagavatam, that is also good. That is also chanting. So one day you will miss the chanting, you will just read Bhagavatam. Then one day you will think that reading also good, but going to temple is also a sadhana bhakti. So if I don't read, if I don't chant, because it took so much time to travel to temple, so today that is my sadhana, I will go temple. So because there are other shelters, we think that by not chanting Lord's name, it also possible to get liberated or do something. So I have no one shelter. So I mean, there is no difference between all the devotional activities, but we must take shelter one, and we should think that this is the supreme. And the Shastra says, although all the devotional services are same and equal, cooking and cleaning, everything, all are different services. But Shastra says that taking the shelter of name is the most important shelter. Therefore, one should think that chanting is the most important, and there is no alternative chanting. There could be alternative chanting, but in your knowledge, there's no alternative. Just like a husband or wife. So there could be other person with whom they could get married. So now the condition is you get divorced and get married again. So you say that this husband is not good, I divorce and I will marry again another husband. Similarly, I think that this wife is not good, I will divorce and get married another wife. So this will not bring the consistency, or this will not become the ananya also. If you think that in this life or in next life also the same husband is there, there could be all 1,000 kinds of men and women in this world, but I think there is no alternative for me. There is one alternative. So even one preaches you that, Prabhu, there are many alternative chanting. Even if you miss chanting someday, no worries. Something is there. You can do something. So that kind of mentality hampers us in being consistent in our different services. You must take that. I mean, in my understanding, in my knowledge, there is no alternative for me. This is the one alternative. Just like there is no alternative for me other than oxygen. There are hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and neon, different kinds of gases are there. But for me, there is no alternative to oxygen. I can breathe only oxygen. If somebody says that no, there is possibility you can mix carbon dioxide, but if oxygen is high, that is also possible to breathe. no, I want oxygen. So this life, there's no alternative. There are people that are attached to some kind of food. They say they would say there is no alternative to rice. I want rice every day in my diet. No matter where I go, everywhere I cook my rice, I get my rice, then I'm satisfied. Sometimes they say I like chapati only. I don't like rice. I just want rice. So similarly, there could be different kinds of food, different kinds of services, but for me, for my development, there is no alternative to this. So then we can be consistent. And if we see there's alternative, then we don't get consistent. The two things, one is that mercy of Lord is there's no alternative. And to get this mercy, this is my sadhana, there's no alternative. So if you don't have any alternative, you do not know anyone. You do not know anyone. Just like example is said that a bird, in the Surdas Kabi, he said, the bird is sitting on the ship, and the ship is in the middle of ocean. Bird flies away, again comes back to ship only, because his ship flies away and they see no shelter in the entire ocean. Only ship is the ocean and the shelter in the entire ocean. Similarly, if you don't have any shelter other than your name the Lord, mercy of the Lord, then we will be consistent. Doesn't matter. Otherwise, if you have other alternatives, if you think that chalega, if I don't do this today, so we cannot be consistent.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I think the example of oxygen is very, very relevant, and I could relate it very easily. Thank you, Prabhuji. It was an amazing session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And one information to other devotees, Prabhuji has developed an app with classes, Bhagavad Gita classes in Hindi. So I'll be sharing it in our Vaishnava Seva group. So devotees may see that and share with those Hindi-speaking people, or if you are able to understand Hindi, I think that will be really good, because we see Prabhuji's how he explains with beautiful examples and how easily we can follow it. So thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Prabhu, we are not in Vaishnava Seva group, Prabhu.
I'll send it to you, Mataji.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Prabhu, if there is English version, you can send it now, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I mean, what I have done that I'm recording entire verse of Bhagavad Gita in Hindi. So entire verse in 5 minutes or 6 minutes. And what I'm doing is trying to correlate. So usually when we listen to Bhagavad Gita, we take out the verse out of the Bhagavad Gita and we place in the board. And we see that there is no other verse in the Bhagavad Gita. And we explain everything. So, but those verses of Bhagavad Gita was meant to solve the problem of Arjuna. So we should understand how this verse solved the problem of Arjuna. So this is my purpose, to correlate entire the verses and just in 5 minutes. And then the idea of developing an app was because if I give to my children to learn Bhagavad Gita from YouTube, so there's a lot of distraction and they can go anywhere from YouTube. So therefore I developed an app, and I hope in the future my children will read from there, thinking that my father has developed the app. I should at least read those. So that's what the purpose of it. So I'm recording Hindi only. It's taking time for me to record Hindi. Maybe in future I can record in Hindi, English also.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Any other comments or questions?
Thank you very much, Prabhu. It's wonderful to hear you have developed this app and the purpose for your children. I had one point I wanted to validate, Prabhu. Often when we hear about the long process, long time for anartha nivritti, it can be demotivating in the short term. To keep ourselves enthusiastic. And your point about this Ananya Bhakti, first time I heard this, and it was really to cultivate that. Of course, Ananya Bhakti we hear, but relating it and as a antidote to that, I was thinking, so that we don't lose our enthusiasm and keep that connecting to Krishna all through the day and in our lives. Is that good way to understand. Because otherwise, I always when we have this question, Anartha Nivritti is so long. What is the hope? And this type of discussions it goes. If you can throw some light.
Thank you. I think this is not your doubt. You are asking for others' benefit. So, if you have listened to Bhaktivinoda Thakur song, he says, "Bhukti mukti spriha bihina je bhakta labha ite tako sangha anurakta." He said, "I would like to associate with devotees who had no desire of bhukti or mukti, no spriha. Spriha means subtle desire within the mind. It doesn't have. So, if we are in association of devotees who have developed this ananya bhakti, then immediately we can also develop it. So that is the power of association devotee. So ananya means we are anya, means there is a main thing and there's anya thing and the other things. So main thing is depending on the mercy of Lord, and anya means other things. So say for example, if I have a car, okay, but I am healthy enough to walk also. I can walk for 50 kilometers. I can walk for 100 kilometers also if my car goes wrong. So although I'm using the car every day, but I also practice exercise, I do yoga, everything, so that I am not dependent on car. I use the car, but not dependent on car. But regularly, if I use car, again, car, then one day it will so happen that I just need to go 1 kilometer and car is not running. I say, how I should go? I don't have bike, I don't have car. He doesn't think that I can walk also. So I'm 100% dependent on car only. Similarly, if I have a disease, so if you go to a medical store, so you are not dependent on the medical store. You are dependent on the doctor's prescriptions. You just give the prescription to a medical store, he gives the medicine. Similarly, we are not dependent on doctor. We are dependent on Krishna, and whatever medicine Krishna prescribes the doctor, he says us and we get it. Sometimes it so happen that if you go to a medical shop, then the doctor will say that connect with the medical store. I will tell you what medicine you require, because you do not understand what the medicine are there. So similarly, we must start depending on the Lord. So this teaching has to be there, and if this teaching, it can spark in 1 second, it can spark in 1 minute. This anartha nivritti happens at the lightning speed. So Chetodhara Marjanam, that process is a very slow process. Marjan, I mean cleaning, it is a slow process. Daily you have to do. If you don't do one day, then again the process will stop. Cleaning is there. But if you develop ananya bhakti, as Lord says, aham agyana jam tamaham, jnana deepena bhasvata. So our process should be that once a devotee is neophyte, he can engage in chanting, but slowly, we should start engaging, interacting devotees who are ananya devotee to the Lord, ananya bhakta. We should listen to them, and then what happens? The movement to develop ananya bhakti, it can happen in 1 second, just like Khatwang. You must have Khatwang. He developed ananya bhakti in 1 second. He said, "How much time do I have?" They said 1 chana. In 1 chana, he developed the ananya bhakti. Ananya, he left all the shelters, just depending on Lord mercy. So the anartha nivritti happens in a lightning speed. If you have ananya bhakti, immediately happens. But if you do not have ananya bhakti, if you have shelters other than the Lord's name, other things are there, then very slow process, marginal, slowly. It may happen today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, this life, next life, 100 lives. It's a very slow process. But ananya bhakti is very fast, lightning speed. Immediately, Lord switches the light, happen immediately. Today itself, just now also, if mentally you give up all the shelters, anartha nivritti is done, finished. Doesn't require a long time. And even Prabhupada, somebody asks, how much time it takes to become a pure devotee? Lord says, just fraction of a second. So we should just know devotees who are ananya, and we can listen to them, we can interact with them, be in association with them, and then happens very fast. Doesn't take long time.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for really wonderful. Really like the question answers, the way you explain with the very practical examples. Seeking your more association coming days. Please give your association, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you. So we'll end the session here with the Vaishnava Pranam.
Krishna Dandavat Pranam.
Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo ananta koti vaishnavasya Premavasya Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Thank
I'll
you.
end the call now.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavata Pranam.
Prabhuji.